What's your most significant memory from yesterday? What about last week? Earlier in the month? Is it all just a blur? Well, it is for me, and I realized that a while back and came up with an idea, a concept I now call 5,000 days. It's going to be the subject of this podcast episode that was recorded about 7 months ago. It's the subject of a book I'm writing that I've been now working on for, guess how long? About 7 months. It's hard to believe, but I'm in the 220-somethingth day of my 5,000-day journey, if somethingth is even a word. This episode was recorded back on day 2, so you're going to see a few differences. I've added some more lighting for the sake of the video podcast, and I've added some facial hair, so whether or not those two things make the podcast better or worse, you can talk about in the comments. But first, take this step back into the past and enjoy what I recorded last fall for you regarding this subject, which is all the more pertinent, all the more relevant, all the more real to me today. Here we go. Off Topic begins right now. Topic. And today I want to introduce an idea to you, new way of looking at life. I have been in a season where everything is about a point in the future that might help me or that I might be looking toward for some breakthrough. I know that doesn't make sense, but looking forward, I guess, which is not a bad thing. It's better than probably looking backwards unless you're trying to learn a lesson. But looking forward to the detriment of appreciating where I am, where you are.
And where are you? What are you wearing? Boring.
I catch myself just realizing that a month has gone by because all I've been doing is looking a month into the future, waiting for something to happen. And it's causing me to lose appreciation for the day that I'm in, the moment that I'm in. And I came up with an idea. It's, I don't know, probably not unheard of, but I'm titling it, branding it, taking credit for it right here on Off Topic. And that idea is called 5,000 days. Just the beginning of 5,000 days is worth letting you guys in on before I explain exactly what it is. But the fact that I'm sitting here talking to you finally is like part of it, because I'm the king of, if it's not procrastination, it's more like, it's like you're on the edge of what you want to do and you just can't get over the hump to get started.
Yeah, that pretty much sounds like procrastination.
I'm speaking to myself while I speak to you because this is a life lesson kind of thing, that I'm the preacher and the choir, but the idea is fucking go, man. Like getting set up, just getting into this studio, this office that is my new studio. Press and record on the audio and the video and getting talking. I don't know why that's so hard for me, but it's like I gotta have all my ducks in a row or something. And I mean, sometimes you just got to accept a rogue duck or two when you're on a mission and you're headed somewhere. And I have a hard time doing that. I like to have the room clean. I like to have my belly full. I like to be rested. And then when I'm all done with all of that, I like to have a script or a plan. And then I like to set everything up just the right way. And as I'm doing that, I run into other problems today. The warm light that's on my face right now, that's I think going to be the norm, it was out of current, and so then it was finding a power cord and making sure that was squared away, and the camera's connected, but I can't see myself like I normally can on this screen. And is that okay? Because I can't see myself on the camera when I'm using the remote operation. And should I fix it first? And I've been sitting here fiddling with it. Ducks, 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 ducks. There's just got to be some rogue ducks sometimes. You can't have them all in a row all the time. Sometimes you just got to start. And so that's what I'm doing. And the reason I'm doing it today is because this is day 2 for me of something that I call 5,000 days. It's a brand new idea in my head. I think it's pretty neat. And I want to tell you about it. I've been doing Wim Hof breathing. I was introduced to it as a part of cold plunging, which I got a cold plunge episode from when the podcast began. It's about 80% done. I'm looking forward to finishing it.
Yeah. Just really first-rate stuff. I mean, that's effing cold. But hopefully there's some dubbed-in dialogue, monologue, epilogue, prologue, some kind of log over the top of this riveting masterpiece.
Just because it's a pretty neat demo of what the human body is capable of. I think Wim would be proud of me. I suppose a lot of people think that. You guys know who Wim Hof is? Super viral a couple years ago with breathing and cold plunges and all that stuff. Guy's a freaking badass, man. Climbs snow-capped mountains in shorts and a t-shirt, mind control over bodily responses to the environment and things you just couldn't even imagine are possible. But if you think of the idea that, what do we use 10% of our brain, scientists say, or something like that?
Some people probably use a little more than that. Here, well, we're ballpark.
I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it never made sense to me in the context of, well, why do we have the rest of it? And in my world, I always come back around to, well, we must have used it at some point. We must have needed it at some point. We certainly aren't evolving into it. If anything, we're evolving out of using more of our brain. Let's feed this and and our brains are fucking turning to vegetable soup anyway.
Vegetable soup? Benchmark metaphors here on Off Topic.
But if that's true, and if our brains are capable of more than we think,
well, more or less. Vegetable soup.
And Wim has tapped into some of this stuff. If you guys don't know his story, it's kind of wild. He lost his wife, I believe it was suicide, a good many years ago now, and was kind of just a dead inside man, and one day ran out and chopped a hole in the frozen lake he lived on and jumped in just to feel something. I think that's how it went. And he realized that he felt alive for the first time in however long it had been, started investing time and energy into figuring it all out, and has come up with some incredible breakthroughs with respect to the mind's control of the body and how to use what I don't know if he'd ever explained it this way. Maybe he's never even said this, but 10% of our brain is spent, being rocket scientists and walking and speaking and fucking and feeling and whatever else it is we do as human beings, learning.
Eating vegetable soup.
Well, the other 90 does some stuff. It did at some point. And he's figuring that out, I think, is the way I would explain what he does. But anyway, I was introduced to his breathing as a precursor to cold plunging by a buddy of mine who was on Odd Man In, my other podcast, my first guest, back in 2022. And Mark let me use his cold plunge tub and sauna for 9 months. It's time in my life we'll talk about another time, but I had some time to kill.
Not to mention a couple people.
It's actually where I started these podcasts. So maybe thank God I did have that time.
We forgive no one.
But I got introduced to the breathing, and the reason that's important now is because what I learned to do while I did Wim's breathing exercises was focus on my version of mindfulness. There's another buzzword, mindfulness. It's like meditation, except, it's just being present in a moment. It's not opening yourself to whatever's out there, spirit realm, craziness, or anything. Mindfulness is a really pure way to get away from distraction and into the moment that you're in. Focus on only the breath coming in and out of your nose and mouth. The feel of the carpet you're lying on or the chair you're sitting in. The sounds around you are as far out as you go, and then you come back inside yourself. Well, mindfulness is about being in the moment. Being in the moment is the most minutia version of being in the minute, being in the hour, being in the day that you're in, and not looking 30 days into the future for the next thing of significance and letting 30 days go by without hardly a consciousness that what's happening during those days even registers in your history. This is what I was guilty of, Earthlings. This is what I was doing, was literally spending so much time focused on a goal that was out in front of me. By the way, still out in front of me. We'll get there. Not today. Teaser. But focused on a goal that was out in front of me to the point that days would go by, months would go by, and then half a year's gone. Why? What I miss. So I came up with this idea. I can't even tell you where it dropped out of,
More likely where it was pulled out of.
or what I was thinking at the time. But the idea was, how can I change the way I look at my life to help me appreciate every moment? I got a good bit of it left. Some of you are looking at me like, yeah, he does. Others of you are looking at me like, no, he doesn't. He's fucking old. But I'm not. Well, I don't know. Oh, which tangent not to go down. I'm not old. I'm 51. I feel 38. When I was 40, I felt about 48.
Just like Benjamin Button. You can see the similarities.
So I'm moving in the right direction, body, mind, and soul. A lot of things going on in my life that feel right. There's a lot of freedom. There's a lot of joy. There's still a lot of responsibility. Holding on to that, not losing sight of any of that stuff. I'm not turning into a kid, but I'm healthier than I was a decade ago or more. I'm more energetic. I'm more alive. And with the exception of a distraction or two, I'm focused. Well, doesn't change the fact that 51 is point where you ought to be damn well happy and appreciative of the moments that you have at the age that you are. Because someday I'm going to be 71.
It's a little presumptuous.
And I hope I'm still doing that. But there's things that you can do at 51 that you can't do 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now.
But you can always die trying.
I hope that 10 looks a lot like now. I hope that the next 10 evolve the same way the last 10 have. And I just keep feeling younger and fresher and more alive. But how do you do that? 5,000 days. It's the idea that not even a date on a calendar is going to be important to me, but that the day that I'm in is the day. And treating it in a way that will help me appreciate it for what it is. And so what I'm doing, it came in stages, but when I came up with the idea, there wasn't a method. Now the method is a trial method, but I bought a fucking journal.
Just like a Homo sapien. What were you thinking?
Now, you are looking at the most non-journaling motherfucker you've ever seen, Earthlings. I've tried in the past. I've tried to write shit down and come back later, and people talk about self-discovery and all. No. Not that. I'm not good at it. I'm a decent writer, but I'm not a religious journaler. I don't understand it. God bless you if you do. But the journal is more like a log, and I'm on the second day. Yesterday, I woke up, I did my breathing, I went out on what I call the vista, my front porch. It's about 8 feet above the street, and it looks out over a junkyard. But off to the left is a Veterans Memorial Park, and then there's a house, then there's the junkyard, then there's a grass field. Between me and all that shit is some traffic. Oh my God, that was on cue. Did you guys hear that out there? The muffler-less vehicle of some sort, probably a motorcycle. I love my house. I talked about the windows and stuff before, it kind of semi-soundproof. I spent some money on them. It doesn't fucking matter. But I do love my house, and I love this studio. I love this office that is my studio now. Uh-oh.
Hello, and thank you for choosing Eurodates. Your brunette, voluptuous, 5'9" robo partner has cleared customs and is available for pickup at your earliest convenience. Press 1 to...
Spam call. Tell you what I'm going to do with this. So I'm on call for work right now, Earthlings. I'm on reserve this month, so I got to have that phone. Wasn't unprofessional of me. Maybe unprofessional not to have it on vibrate or just silent, sitting there where if it goes off and it's work, I can answer. But I'm on reserve this month. They could call me to go fly, which is another reason this is all beginning right now. But yeah, outside this house is the Vista, and on the Vista, I took the journal that I ordered off Amazon a couple days ago, and I just started to write yesterday. And all I wrote at the top of the page was day one. And I wrote that day one started with breathing. And then I was like, wait a second. No, day one started with waking up. And I wrote that. And I wrote what I was thinking about when I woke up. Then I had the breathing and the coffee and the vista. It's really nice out there. Philly is a pretty cool place to be this time of year because fall is already starting to tease us. Where I lived before in South Carolina, not so much. You got another month of summer before you even think about it, and then the tease happens in October when you're trying to think about winter and it's not even given up the ghost yet with the 92-degree days. But Philly's a great place to be this time of year because it's starting to cool off. It's nice, and I just started writing. And just a few things, and then I realized 5,000 of these. This is day one. I got to keep it simple. And so I did. I kept the facts to a minimum, and then I closed the journal, and then I just sat there and I sipped my coffee. And then the rest of the day I was productive. It's funny how when you're thinking of recording your life for the sake of awareness, you start to maybe feel a little motivation to do more. Went to the gym, went to the grocery store.
Boring. Fast forward.
Vacuum. What else did I do? There was stuff out of the house too. But I was productive, and I was thinking about the things that I was doing, and what if it would get written down. Okay. Now, before you think I wrote 3 pages, I didn't. I just literally wrote, today started with breathing. No, it didn't. It started with waking up. I was thinking about a letter I got to write for work, and I was thinking about one other administrative thing that had to get done, and then I was thinking about relationships and people in my life. At one point, I was sitting out there, and a U-Haul van pulled over, and we didn't rent a U-Haul, but when I moved here, my daughter drove up with me, and it just reminded me of pulling up to this exact same location in our own van, a little cheaper than a U-Haul, budget, because I'm on one. But it reminded me of that experience with her. So guess what I did? I texted her. She's 18, she's graduated from high school, working, getting ready for first year of college here in a month or so. Week or so. That's the problem, by the way. It was a month ago, and wham, it's gone. That's what I don't want to happen. But I texted her, and then I wrote in my journal. Thought about, my daughter. Texted her. Then I closed it, and I lived the rest of my day. And at the end of the day, I wrote down some stuff, and I thought about, well, what do I want to track over 5,000 days? I don't know. How many times I go to the gym, or what my breath holds are in my Wim Hof breathing, or when I run and at what pace I run and how far. But then it's the unique stuff. Like this isn't a statistical project, but there are benchmarky type things in the things that I do that are healthy and good for me that might be fun to keep track of. And so there's a little bit of that in there. I don't know what this is going to look like later, but let me tell you where I've evolved, Earthlings, in fucking 36 hours of this. 36 hours since yesterday morning. Damn near that. I woke up this morning, had a very similar start to my day. Found myself on the Vista with the coffee. And I realized that the first thing I wanted to do was write down the most significant memory that I had from yesterday. And you know what it did? It brought me back to the day before. And it kept me right here in this time this week, this beginning of September, this first month I'm back on reserve in a long ass time that I've chosen to invest in this. It brought me back one day and it set me back there. Now, what I wrote is my most significant memory is none of your fucking business. But it was a fun memory for me. And it also reminded me of an approach to life that I want to have with respect to the world around me, relationships, interactions, those types of things. Kind of guy I know that I have been and want to be to the world. And it was really fun. And I went back to that. All right, screw it. I saw a really hot chick at the gym. I didn't even talk to her. But there was a little bit of eye contact. And I just realized that my core wanted. I've not been in that place of breaking the ice in a really long time, but I know how to do it. And so I wrote this memory of kind of working on the bench next to this girl. She's younger, she's real pretty. And just what that was like. And I resolved that, not with ill intention, but with a desire to live, to experience, to feel, to engage, that if I find myself at my gym in the future, whether it be 2 days from now or 2 weeks from now or whenever, and I see this girl again, that I'm going to talk to her. Would all this have happened if I wasn't entering into something new for myself? Or would it have just been something hazy behind me, a memory that's already faded? A certain type of person might even call it a failure, a missed opportunity. I had another one of those a couple weeks ago. I was on an overnight at work. I was walking around downtown Denver, and I was checking out the menu outside a restaurant. By the way, there are a lot. Do you guys know how many really beautiful people there are in Denver, fucking Colorado?
Fun fact, Denver, Colorado was founded by quitters. Those westward journeymen who got to the Rocky Mountains and looked up and said, nah, fuck it. This is good enough. Later, their descendants became among the first to legalize weed. Coincidence? I don't think so.
I didn't. People are healthy there. People are alive. People are out doing things at night and loving and enjoying the city they live in, the events, the culture that's available. I mean, it's Denver, but I was just walking around just appreciating the life out there. Okay, anyway, looking at a menu, and around me moves a woman, best guess 30, very pretty. And she turns and she positions herself about 3 feet from me, kind of half facing me. And she's just kind of standing there. And my head went right to where it should go. Like, what's the line? Came to me. It's very simple. Hey, do you know, I'm sorry to bother you, do you know if this restaurant's any good? Genius. If only I'd said it. Living in the moment, I think, evolves into a more and more developed approach to life, Earthlings. Not on these, not ahead of yourself or behind yourself, but where you are. And my 5,000 days, in case you're wondering, it's short of 14 years. Or, yeah, it's like almost 14 years. And it's ironic. I didn't know this when I made up the number. I wanted it to be a really big number, but not a number that took me to my deathbed. I just wanted it to be a lot, because I don't want this to be something that I do for a year. I want this to be a lifestyle. So I just picked 5,000. Not 13 2/3 years, not how many months, but days. 5,000 days lived one day at a time. And every moment mattering, to the degree that the most significant of each day's moments get recorded in a journal. I'm on day 2, and I remember yesterday. If that's not profound to you, good. God bless you. But I think it's profound to a lot of you. I remember yesterday. And I'm very, very present in today. I'm sitting here for the first time in way too long. Got a couple of rogue ducks. Don't care. I'm here. I'm doing this again. And this 5,000 day thing is going to evolve. Whatever this episode is, it's a starting point. Even though there's the other one too. We're in the middle of it. I've recorded like 3/4 of it. Oh, self-fulfilling prophecy. I've already erased my whiteboard. I was looking over there. Help! It's not there. Got an episode called Self-Fulfilling Prophecy I'm in the middle of as well, but this is about now. The podcast is rejuvenated. We're going to promote Odd Man In while we record, produce, and publish off topic. And then Odd Man In is going to have a life of its own as well. I've already got a guest from work. First officer flew.
Floozy, fluctuate, flavor flow, Florida, flatulence.
With me, flies with me a bit. I know him pretty well. Wants to be an Odd Man In guest. We're going to do that too. But this is day 2 of 5,000 days for me. And I don't know what's sustainable. I'm trying real hard not to go too crazy with it. so that I create something that's not sustainable. It's like when you go to the gym on a New Year's resolution and you're 2 weeks in and you're exhausted because it's too much. That's not, I'm smart enough to know that's a bad idea. But the good idea is mindfulness, presence, intention, appreciation.
And the cojones to talk to hot chicks.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to make this funny or not.
Well, teamwork does make the dream work. Some shit.
But I'm excited to look down at the clock on my recording equipment here and to see that I just recorded an episode of Odd Man In.
No, you didn't. This is off topic, dumbass. But boy, did you sincerely speak that other podcast title well.
On day 2 of 5,000 days. It's got to be flushed out. It's got to be figured out. But already, I love it. And it's going to turn into a book. That's the latest epiphany. A little earlier today, I was like, this is a book.
And this is the look of convincing oneself that the self-help section at Barnes & Noble is, yep, one book too small.
But for now, I want to encourage you guys. If it doesn't look exactly like me, that's okay. Everybody's their own personality. Everybody's got their own approach. But find a way to appreciate the day you're in. Find a way to live in the moment you're in. Even the Bible says, don't worry about tomorrow. Today has enough worries for itself. It doesn't mean don't plan. It doesn't mean don't think. It doesn't mean don't dream. But don't do that at the expense of where you are. It's like saving for retirement. You save it all for retirement, and then you walk out one day, you're 58 years old, 7 years away, and you get hit by a bus. Well, what's all that for? Maybe the living is supposed to happen now. Maybe there's supposed to be a balance there. So be balanced, Earthlings. Live day to day. Figure it out. I'm going to talk more about 5,000 days as the days go by and the episodes go by. But for now, I am Matthew East. We are off topic. God bless you guys. And we will talk to you next time. This was a one-take episode. And wow, does it feel effing good. Stick with me, Earthlings. We've got so much ahead of us. Listen to 5 episodes and let me demonstrate to you the diversity and the energy that we're going to bring to you coming up in the Off Topic Podcast. You can also email us with your own ideas or call us. The email address is eastofftopic@gmail.com. The phone number 864-432-3379. Replay it if you need it, but call us or email us and stick with us by subscribing right now. We'll see you next time.
Moment by Toad the Wet Sprocket. Funny name. Band, not the song. Released on October 15th, 2013 on their new Constellation album by Abe's Records. There. Happy?